and welcome to another episode of the Laughter for All podcast. I am comedian Nazareth. Thank you for joining us for episode number 86. 86 weeks we've been with you guys. I know we took last week off because of what was going in the Holy Land, but we're back and I'm faithful to my word. We have comedians, we have professional comedians on the show, even though sometimes we have different, I have pastors, we have models, we have Miss America, we have all these different, we have athletes, we have funeral home directors, but it's still all about laughter for all, trying to make you laugh and encourage you. But also, we get real with the comedians. So, you can find out the behind the scenes who we are as comedians. So really, and I think we're still in the top 100 comedy podcasts. So we're doing good. There's people watching and downloading. So if you have not subscribed to the podcast, please subscribe to it. Also, if you are what do you call it? If you like to laugh and you're bored at night, or you go, man, I feel a little anxious or upset or depressed, join us every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Pacific time on Comedian Nazareth on Facebook or YouTube, and you can laugh with us for an hour with the Live with Naz show, and we can laugh for about 50 some minutes, and then we can, what do you call it? We will pray for you. We will encourage you. So this would be good. Anyway, my guest today is a friend of mine. I've known him for years. He is not from this country, neither am I, but he's always in this country when he can. So he's very funny, very very funny. But he is a real person. When you're talking to him, there's no hidden agenda, just straight guy, so kind. Of course, he's Canadian, so he's sweet. So he's double Canadian, double sweet, man. He's having toured all across North America for nearly 2 decades. Leland credits are many and diverse, including appearances on Just for Laughs on the Comedy Network, CBS Television's Halifax Comedy Festival, Thou Shall Laugh on Netflix, as well as hosting numerous specials and series. In addition, he hosted the national syndicated television show Popcorn TV for 170 episodes, as well as his very own show, Leland Klassen's Comedy Tournament, which was great. I loved that one. Most recently, Leland took on the lead role in the dramatic movie Extraordinary, drawing on the same authentic and genuine emotion that crowds have come to love in his comedy. Also, he also has a great movie called Sleeper Agents, and it won several awards. The best feature, best male actor, best storytelling, and others things at the Content 2020 Film Festival and Media Summit. So please welcome my good friend Leland Klassen. Welcome, Leland.
Hey Naz, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
What's up? Is that the COVID beard? Is that what you have?
That's you know what I used to call it. I used to call it my depression beard because I couldn't I couldn't come up with the will to shave, and then I just kept it. So
And how does Carrie, your wife, have to deal with that?
she loves it. That's the main reason I still have it.
Really?
Yeah, she loves it.
Huh?
You're
My wife.
surprised by that. You have facial hair. Your
I
wife loves
do.
the facial hair.
I have this goatee, but my wife would never kiss me face forward. She comes on the sides. So that's the only. So how is what do you call it? How is Canada right now with COVID?
Pretty locked down. Pretty locked down. I
We've
haven't been
been.
able to perform stand-up comedy in front of a live audience in Canada there was a time in last September that I got to do a couple, but other than that, it's been a year and a couple months.
So is it controllable? Do you guys have a vaccine yet? Well, what's going on?
Yeah, vaccine. They're pushing the vaccine here. Everything's pretty locked down. Our numbers are worse than yours. We used to brag like, "Oh, look at the Americans! They don't know look at us. We're doing the right stuff," and because nobody knows what's going on. And then now we've got terrible numbers, and you guys' numbers are settling in. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was looking at your numbers and going, look at those Canadians. They don't know what they're doing. Look at us. We're doing it right.
That's
Same thing.
yeah.
But no, that was awesome. I have some Canadian fans watching right now. So
Oh,
you're big in Canada. You're big in Canada. When did you
am I?
start doing comedy? When did you start doing comedy, Leland?
When did I start?
Yeah.
97, 96,
What
something
were
like
you
that.
doing before? What were you doing?
I was just working. I have a degree in anthropology, so I was
Why?
ethnology is my main subdiscipline. It's the study of cultures, Naz. So I was very fascinated in the different the cultural differences. And then there's no work for that. There's no jobs for that.
So you know about my people then, if you're an anthropologist.
Oh, I studied your people. I studied you specifically. You didn't even know I was studying you.
I know for
I got
for
a
grades,
thesis. I got a thesis on
yeah,
you. Yeah.
for grades only. So when you started comedy, were you did you want it to be a comedian or an actor? Because you're very accomplished on both.
Oh well, thank you for saying that. Yeah, no, I wanted to be a stand-up comedian. I think that was it still is my first love. I still want to get in front of audiences, preferably live, and and perform. But I do love film, television work. The stuff that I've been able to do over the years in Canada and now recently in the States a little bit here. It's fun. It's really fun.
I know, but when you in 1996 you were already married, right?
Yeah,
And you told your wife, "I'm gonna become a comedian."
yeah.
She goes, "I married an anthropologist." How did she react to that?
uh, yeah, it's hard to like. Here's why I'm struggling over this. She's supportive, but she wasn't always supportive. But yet she still didn't put the barriers up. Do you know what I mean? Like
Because
I guess I could say she has always been supportive, but not enthusiastically so. maybe that's maybe that's a better way to say it.
where is she now?
Oh, on that spectrum,
Yeah.
it's pretty supportive. Like the stuff we've been going through with COVID and stuff, it kind of gives me an idea that hey, maybe this isn't going to work because you can't do this. And she's still like, no, this is what God's called you to do. So that she's swung over to the enthusiastically supportive part now, which doesn't make any sense now. Uh, but
No, I know, but you know what? I didn't. I wanted to save that question for later, but I'll ask it right now. And this is speak to every wife or spouse of a person who's self-employed who depend on the calendar to
mhm,
make a living.
yeah,
And so I know you're a board member of the Christian Comedy Association as well, but when I was there, I spoke about don't let the calendar decide your emotions. Like sometimes when I have a good month, I'm happy, I'm nice, I'm
right.
kind. When I have a bad month, there's no money coming. You get in that mood. But what
You
about the
grow
spouse?
a depression beard.
What about your spouse? What is your wife does? I know me and you, we have something in common. We both hustle. We're hustlers. We don't. I mean, you come to the states, you do Canada. You're always creating new, like the tournament, other events. So you're always. What do you say to these spouses that don't have the same? What do you call it? The hope of potential gigs coming. When someone said, "Hey, Leland, we're going to have you and we're going to have 4 or 5 shows with you." So you live on that hope. But how's
Right.
your spouse react to that?
Yeah, I mean it's super. I mean that's a super complex question, right? Because there's so many factors and so many scenarios and so many things. I think the key to doing anything like this and anything for us when we talk about what we do, it's a ministry as well as a job. But I think you have to be a team, and that's it has to be something that you're both like, okay, we're doing this. Whether your spouse is involved in a big way, behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, not at all. It doesn't matter, but the support and the agreement that this is what we're doing, that has to be. If that's not there, then that's where you got to start, I think.
Now, does your wife work?
Yeah.
She
I used
does.
to say
Okay.
this. My wife, she's a stay-at-home mom unless we're out of money, and then you can always tell how well we're doing. And so yeah, she's working. She's working.
I have a question from an audience member who's actually Canadian from Ontario.
Okay.
Crystal Leffler said, "As a clean comedian in your shows, are you able to share Christ?"
Uh, it depends on the show. Like if I'm just at a comedy club, which I still work comedy clubs every once in a while and stuff like that, I can't. I can't really. There's still times when it comes up because there's interaction and live things that happen, and if I'm talking to somebody and it's like, well, this is my faith, so that it can come up. But a lot of times if I'm doing a church show, then it comes down to I talk to the pastor. What do you want to do with this? Is this a pre-evangelistic tool? You just want to bring people in and make them comfortable, and then you guys are going to do that work, or do you want me to present the gospel? It really comes down to what the pastor, who knows his community, who knows his church body, what he wants. That's how I do it anyway.
Now, from your experience, because you do a lot of the states, and you've probably done every state here, and you also do Canada in a comedy club setting before COVID, BC. How is the reaction when you say you're a Christian? You know how sometimes people react negatively. Is
Yeah.
it worse in Canada than the states, or is it the
Mm.
same?
I definitely think it's celebrated more in the U.S.
Mm.
I don't know if it's a huge difference, but I do feel like there is a difference. I just know evangelical Christianity in the U.S. is just more thought of in a more positive way. Maybe I don't know, Crystal, if you want to jump in, you tell me what you think. But any other Canadians there? But I really feel like, it's not it's not seen as a great thing in Canada.
Now, what do you call it? What was your favorite venue when you were performing? Is it in the States or is it in Canada? What would be your favorite venue?
Well, you get to go everywhere, right? So I don't think there's one particular place I liked more than another. I sure like doing a theater show though. Give me a theater show any day. I love those.
Yes. Now, let me
Yeah.
ask you this, that we open up. Were your parents Christians? How did you become a follower of Christ?
Yeah. My parents were both Christians, and I was raised in a Christian home, and I became a Christian at a pretty young age. But when I look back now, because I was really pretty young, 7 years old. Although I will say this was out on the farm, and I don't know why that. Well, I know why, but I really felt like there was still a calling. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like even at 7 years old, there was a reason. It's like why I just started asking my brother and sister about this because it was stuck in my head. Like I gotta find out about this. I don't know what triggered it, but there was something there. But anyways, having said that, now I look back on my faith and I look back on my relationship with God, and it was just so infantile. And I grew so much and learned so much. And then, and I think that just keeps happening. Me 10 years ago saying, yeah, no, this is my faith and this is what I believe. And this is how close I am to God on the sanctification process. Now, 10 years later, it's like, oh, I was so immature. You know what I mean? And I think that's a journey, right? Like it's just a journey that you go on as a Christian. As long as you keep seeking God, you're going to keep learning. There's so much to learn about God. He's infinite. So, he gives you little glimpses sometimes in his word, and it just changes everything. And that just keeps happening. Your entire relationship with him. So
That's true. So you grew up on a farm?
yes, I did.
What
They're
was it?
still
What
on the
kind of
farm.
farm? You're
What's that?
still on
Sorry?
the farm? What
My
kind of
parents are, yeah.
farm? Your parents are still. What kind of farm is it? Like Cattle
It,
or for farming
I
or
mean, it was a little quarter section of land, so we rented out a lot of it. But my dad tried a lot of stuff. We were potato farmers. We were rabbit farmers. We had rabbits.
rabbits?
Delicious. Oh,
You can.
so
Oh,
good.
you farm rabbits? Don't
Oh
they
yeah,
run from the? They jump over the fence.
yeah. Well, you keep them in cages so they don't jump around.
No, that's the only cages Canadians have, not for people for bunnies. That's you guys are the sweetest people. Do you think the reaction you get in Canadian audience different than American audience?
Sure. I mean, I think it's regional. I think is the differences, right? Like just like in
Mm.
the U.S., you're in different places. You're in the Midwest. You're in the South. You're in California. You get a very different. It's like that. And even within Canada, there's Western Canada, and then there's Ontario, and the Maritimes is a whole different thing. So yeah,
No, you live in which province?
British Columbia. I live on the West Coast.
Oh, nice, the beautiful one. Yeah, I
Yeah.
toured. I toured actually with what do you call it? World Vision. We did Victoria. We did.
Oh,
Oh, you guys have what do you call it? Uh, do you guys have Bigfoot? Is Bigfoot in your province or in the next
well,
one in
absolutely.
Alberta?
No, he's in our province too. Yeah.
No,
He's in
just
Chilliwack. He's in a city
ch-
nearby. You go on the streets of Chilliwack and you start asking people, and I'm telling you, five out of 10 will have a Sasquatch story. He's up in Harrison Lake. He's in there somewhere.
no. What do you call? If you have two boys and you said you just told me that one of them is already out and working.
Yeah.
Tell me about your boys, Hunter and what?
Well, they're both single, so I'm hoping that we can make something happen here. If you got daughters,
I
um,
do. I do. Are they believers? Is your
yes,
kids
they are.
believers?
Yes, they're believers.
Okay. Are they handsome and good looking like their mom and kind of you?
Yeah, they look nothing
Yeah.
like me. So you're good.
Okay. So let me ask you this: if your boy come to you and said, "I want to be a comedian here in Canada," what would you tell him?
Um, I don't know. Good luck.
Really? Would you encourage him?
They don't want that. They don't want anything to do with comedy.
But
Nothing at all.
if they do, would you?
If they do, sure, why not? I'd take them on the road with me. I'll give you some. I'll put you. Your son's been doing it. Hey, I've seen some
Yeah.
clips of his.
Yeah.
Good,
He
funny
did. He
guy.
did. He did Dry Bar and it's still not out yet. But
Did he do dry bar too?
he did
Wow.
dry bar too. They gave him an exception and said you can do 20 minutes. So he was able to do 20, and he was very funny. But he wants to be he just got a job with TikTok, like doing TikTok videos that pays
Um,
well. So he wants to do like your son wants to do video games. He wants to do music videos. So they're busy. But no, if they say you can only perform in the States or you can only perform in Canada.
so interesting that you asked that right now because I'm in the process of getting my work permit, my U.S. work permit renewed every 3 years. But this time I wanted to make sure I added film and television work because I've been starting to do more of it, and I wanted to make sure. And that threw everything into a tizzy. And I have a movie I'm supposed to be in. If your viewers are prayers, please pray that I
Oh,
get
they
this
pray.
miracle and get this thing in on time because I need to have it by Friday so that I can go to this movie in Arkansas that we're shooting called Running the Bases. It's a baseball movie, but it doesn't look like it's going to come. And I hope I can get it. If I don't get it, I have to only work in Canada, and I can't work right now. So that probably means my retirement.
No,
Um,
really.
it's a really bad. It's actually a really bad situation right now for me. So yeah, I would the States. If I can get in there, I'm gonna go get my green card this time and work down there. It's been so limiting in the past year here. I've really been disappointed in Canada this year. If I'm being honest,
Yeah, but then
uh,
it stopped here for in the States for a while. I mean, there wasn't work for a long time, but finally it's what do you call it? Finally, it started to get back. Like
yeah,
right now, I'm getting shows for the fall, but nothing like in the next month. There's not much, but yeah. So hopefully it will open up. But so what is that process? I mean, every time you cross the border, what is that process like for you? It must be hard because you have a gig and you have to cross the border to do it.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen I did some bits on the border. I've been arrested at the
I
border.
I
Just
love.
stuff. It's a stressful time, right? They've been pretty good. Like through COVID, the U.S. side has been pretty great. I'm there. Here's my work permit. Okay, come on in. It's just coming back into Canada now. That's crazy. The border has police lined up there, and you got to do tests now there, and you have to have a test before you can show up. And I mean, it's just kind of getting. Well, if you fly into Canada, you have to have a test before you get on a plane. Then you get there, you take a test. They take you to a secured facility, which is a hotel that they've retrofitted with COVID gear or whatever, and they charge you like a lot of money to stay there for 3 days till you get your second negative test back, and then you got to go. Even then, you still have to go quarantine for 10 more days.
Steer home.
It's just my problem with all of this stuff has been you got me on a bad day too. You got me on a real bad day.
No, open up, man. We'll be praying for you. I know this. I
I'm
know
trying
my
to be as
fans
positive
love
as
to
I
pray.
can right now, but this
Yeah,
is
you don't have to. Later,
my depression beard is growing really big today.
No,
It's
vent
gonna be
out.
down to here. No, it's yeah. The problem I have is just the inconsistency with the rules. They put a rule in place, and then the guy beside him, for whatever reason, is exempt for no good reason. Like in BC, you can go to a restaurant, sit down and eat. Well, now it's changed, but it's changing back. But you could do that, but you couldn't meet in a church. And it was just kind of
Mhm.
like, what if we're both socially distancing? What's the difference? You know what I mean? It was just kind of the inconsistencies, and I get it. I know these people are making really, really, really tough decisions. I get that, but they're also
Mm.
making really bad decisions. so, so I understand their circumstance and how difficult it is, but still, I feel like they could have done better.
You're
But
right. And
but yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. I got to get this work permit so I can get down and work, because that's the only place I can work right now is your country. So bring me back.
yeah.
What are you doing? Like you just immigrated and you're a citizen, right? Are you a dual citizen or are you just a one
No,
citizen?
no, no. I came here in '84, and I've been a citizen for I don't remember how long, but yeah, I only work. I love doing Canada when there's work, but Canada has less people, so it's harder to have
Yeah.
a big gatherings in there. What do you call it? What was your feelings during this COVID when COVID happened? You couldn't work, you couldn't go to the States, you couldn't do anything in Canada. What was going through your mind at that point?
Um well, you know what? I felt like I had kind of sorry, I'm not even funny today. I apologize.
No, you
Um
don't have to. This is not about being funny. It's laughter for all with comedians.
it's
When the
laughter for
comedian's
all,
on,
except
let them laugh. We're just being real here.
laughter for everybody except for Leland today. That's what the episode is. No, I had kind of gone through in comedy years earlier where I really felt like it had become an idol for me. Like it
Mm,
was something that I had kind of like it was more important than everything else. And I really felt like God had kind of dealt with me on that. And then COVID hit, and then I was like having the same feelings. And I was like, oh, I guess I still haven't fully dealt with that. You know what I mean? Like it was
I
I
know
got really
exactly
I
what
did
you
get
mean.
really down. Like I was really really depressed for a couple months there. And yeah, it was probably a good thing for me to come to terms with that and figure out, okay, I've maybe made that too important. You know what I mean?
But you did two movies, and one of I know during COVID. Did you do the Sleeper Agent, or that was before?
No, yeah, that was before. We actually released it just as COVID was hitting. So great timing. Thanks for bringing
Yeah.
that up too.
Oh, you won, but you won 3 or 4 awards for it.
Yeah, we won some awards for the movie itself. I even won a best lead actor award. It was great. It was fun. It was a movie that I wrote and co-wrote with the director. and we're writing more. That's actually, I was telling you earlier that I was on a Zoom call. We were actually writing another script, and we got going a little late because we had to finish that script up. But
Is Brad Mix part of this?
this one, no,
Brad.
no, he was a part of the
Okay.
other one though. Yeah, yeah, Brad's
Now,
awesome. Love
what
Brad.
was Sleeper Agent about? What was this movie about?
It's about a guy who's always wanted to be a spy, and when he got the opportunity, he wanted it so bad that he believed it, no matter how ridiculous it seemed, that he was this generational sleeper agent. And then he got involved with a real espionage scenario, and he had to put on his big boy pants to to get out of there alive. So
Now, when you did the acting during those sessions and cut and let's do this again, were you enjoying it as much as doing stand up or no?
uh yeah, this is what I've always said. This is, I guess, what I've realized is that I want to keep doing both. So I would
Mm.
never like, oh, movies are taking off so much now that I don't have to do stand up anymore. You're never going to hear me say that. What for me, it'll be like, oh, if these things have taken off so much, now that'll help over here for me to do bigger shows and be able to continue to tour, and vice versa. I really love film work, and I want to keep doing it. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah. Oh, I
Yes.
lost you.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm
I'm
taking over the
disappearing.
show. My name
No,
is
you
Leland
are.
Klassen.
Yes, Leland
Oh,
Klassen is here.
it's
Just
taking over.
some of the cameras. That's no big deal. Anyway, let me ask you this: the new movie, Extraordinary. What is that? Was that filmed during COVID too, or it was before?
That one's actually a few years old now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we shot that in 2014 or 2015 or something like that.
Oh, before Sleeper Agent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that came first. That's the reason I did Sleeper Agent. So that movie, I'll give you the whole story. If you can, do you want the whole story?
I want the whole story.
Yeah, I'll try to keep it quick. I know Sarah. Sarah, I know. I was so excited. This is going to be the Leland Klassen show. I was about to
Okay,
take over.
I'll cut off. You go ahead.
No, 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 no. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Leland Klassen show. My special guest today, give it up for Nazareth. Give it up for him, Nazareth. There
Thank
he
you
is.
so
Welcome.
much for having me on the show, Leland. Oh, you like my new beard? This is called my anxiety beard.
Anxiety.
I'm not depressed completely. I just have some anxiety right here.
He's got a few issues in the. Yeah, I got you. That's funny.
So tell me the story about that movie.
Sure. Yeah. So I did a movie. I said, I don't know if you noticed this. I started to do one. I was going to do one convention a year, and I stopped going to CCA. I don't know if you realized that I kind of stopped going. I started going to NRB and some of these
Right.
other ones, National Religious Broadcasters Convention.
I was there last year.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, we saw each other at another one.
Oh, that's right. That's
I
right.
can't remember which one that was, but it was a radio
Momentum.
one, wasn't it?
Momentum
Yes.
in
Yeah, that's what it was.
Florida.
So
Yeah.
anyway, I started to go to different ones like that because I was pitching some television shows I'd been working on, and at one of these ones, Tori Martin, big networker, loves to network everybody and everything. He hooked me up with these producers who had this quirky character on this movie. It was called Alter Egos. So I had a small role in Alter Egos. They really liked me. They were like, this was fun. Working with him was great. So they approached me and said, hey, we want you to be in this movie with Kirk Cameron. We want you to play his best friend. And I was like, yeah, because they wanted me to be kind of the lighter guy, bring some comedic. And I was like, yeah,
Right.
no problem. Well, as time went on, Kirk Cameron was like, like this is about this ultra marathon runner. And he was like, I don't want to do all this running. I don't know if that's what he said. This is my assumption.
All right.
He was really smart. He was like, I just want to come in for one day and be sprinkled throughout the movie and not be there for 6 weeks, is probably what he said. But anyway, so they came back to me and said, we want you to do the lead role. And then Kirk Cameron was in it as the DJ, and Karen Abercrombie was in it from War Room. Sherry Rigby from Overcomer.
Yes, I know her.
And Cameron Arnett also played my best friend. He played the blind guy in Overcomer as well. So it's the same movie, pretty much the same cast, except for me. They got rid of me. Alex Kendrick took over my spot. No, but anyway, and it went well. But this is what stuck with me. The producer there said, "Get something ready, because when this drops, everyone's going to say to you, 'What do you got next?'" And I really took that to heart, and I was like, "I got to get some scripts done." And so he gave me a book, Save the Cat by Blake Snyder. And I basically used that as my template. And I started writing. I did a couple scripts, and I was actually at another conference, ICVM, which is a Brad Mix organization.
Yes. I'm from there.
Yeah, he and I were rooming together that particular weekend. And he said, "You need to talk to Nathan Blair." So I talked to Nathan Blair, who's a filmmaker who'd done like 4 or 5 feature films before then. But he really knows how to stretch the dollar. He's the guy that can get something done on a lower budget. So I had Gideon. It was a comedy about Gideon from the Book of Judges. And that's what I was pitching at the time. But that's a bigger budget, and he wasn't really interested in that. So I brought up Sleeper Agent, which was the first script I'd written. And he really liked the idea. And so I sent him over the script, and we started working on it together. And Brad found us the money, and we made the movie.
What do you think? I mean, I hear a lot about, especially my son's a director and others. They go, the quality of Christian film is not there. Mm-hmm. What is your take on that?
Yeah, well, what people don't realize is the budgets that people are working on and working with. When you see I Can Only Imagine or one of those kind of movies, and you're kind of like, oh, see, they can make it. Yeah, that one had a proper budget, but it's really tough to. I used to be. This is what it is, Naz. I even remember going to a CCA thing and talking about Christian television and saying how it was terrible, and I was going to change it. And I've really changed my tune on that because it's hard. It's hard to make a TV show. It's hard to make a movie. I don't criticize any of these guys anymore, because just to get something done is really, really hard. And you'd be per dollar. My movie is the best movie ever made. Okay. Like we took, like you could, when they take my movie and they compare it to other movies, I'm like, yeah, do you know how much their budget is and how much mine is? It's this much of their budget. We did so much with that. It's pretty amazing. It really is. So yeah, there's some truth to it. There's probably some truth to it. We've got work to do. And that's what I'm going to try to do, is just try to make really good movies.
Right. Well, you're good at it. You're very good at it, and you're natural and all that. So, now, remember, I first met you 20 years ago. And your first joke was at Bananas, where we did Bananas. And you talked about how big your hands are.
Still big.
Still big?
Yeah.
Okay. So
always have to give people perspective, because I just put it in the front of the camera and they're like, yeah, well, that's because it's closer. And then I'm like, on my face. And they're like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that is too big.
That's funny. What do you call it? I wanted to ask you this question, but what do you call it? The Sleeper Origin. You have a podcast with your wife called the Comedian Wives Podcast.
Yeah.
And he's leaving. Okay.
There's us.
That's you.
Pre depression beard.
And that's scary. Yeah. Wonderful. What is it about? What do you guys talk about?
It kind of got birthed out of Carrie and I. Like we've talked about this Comedian's Wife. We actually had a script that we were working on for Comedian's Wife, and then we stopped doing that because we have trouble working together. But the whole idea of what is it like people want to talk. They ask comedians. They bring comedians on. They ask them, what's it like, and they can even ask comedians, talk to me about your marriage, but to get the actual comedian's wife's perspective, it's a whole different thing, right? Like,
yes,
like they see things very differently. They're holding down the fort. They're single moms half the time. There's so much going on there, And so we really thought, that's important. And it's not just for comedy. There's traveling people and business people that go away all the time. And it's a similar scenario. Military families. There's so many families that have that scenario, not just the wife, but maybe the husband when the wife goes away or whatever. And not even going away, just the idea of a busy business husband, corporate executive kind of. We just realized there's a lot to talk about there and break down for couples. So we just started doing it. And basically, I tell people, I describe it like this. It's basically my wife tries to be serious and I mess that up. That's essentially what we've been doing. But it's been fun. It's been really fun to work with her on this and just kind of let her see her vision come to life.
I can't wait to watch it because I'll tell you what, I've always told people, I said, my wife, Maha, even though she's the person that doesn't want to do anything with my comedy, she supports me 100%, but she doesn't want to be part of it. But, the minute I leave on the road, she becomes a completely different person. A decision maker, more protective of the kids, more that. And the minute I walk in, and she just boom, she turns into the wife, and it's just amazing. But I know me and you, we had conversation where we both sitting and going, everybody else is working, but we're not, and we're like, look, how come we're not getting shows and how come in money? How do you comfort your spouse when there's no shows coming? What do you tell her? It's hard. It's real.
Wow, that's a really good question. I mean, I know this year, it's really been the opposite. This year has just been her comforting me, saying, "No, this is you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. We'll figure this out. I trust you to figure something out." So that was been a very different. But previous years, I mean, I sometimes, I don't know if you feel like this or felt like this, but there were years where I felt like I was a salesman at home trying to convince her, no, I'll come up with something. I'll figure this out. I'll do this. I'll do that. I'll hustle over here. This thing's going to pay off. This thing, there was a lot of that. And keep in mind, Naz, and I think this makes it, this is why we had kind of a similar situation. We live in expensive places.
Yes.
Like there's comedians that are, I'm like, how does he survive? And then I realized, he's living in
his mortgage $200. His mortgage $200.
Yeah. He's living in Montana and needs $300 a month to survive. So it's like, okay, that's why. But we live in a very expensive place, and we chose to stay here and to make a go of it as a comedian here, and that has made me have to work really hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Did you feel like that too? Maybe not so much now.
Oh yeah, no, I do. No, I still sometimes, people think I'm always busy, but I'm not. But I'm a hustler. I mean, I keep calling and keep trying and keep doing. But what I feel the same way. I have to my wife doesn't complain, but I have to tell her, I said, listen, I got this and this is going to happen. And it doesn't sometimes. So my next question, you're a salesman to your spouse, like sometimes I am. Yeah. What do you sell yourself when things are not happening? How do you convince yourself, hey, let's keep doing this?
Wow, these are really good questions, man. I don't know.
That's what the episode's about. I know. That's what I pride myself with this show. It's like, we want to be real. We want to ask real questions.
No, really good. I've never, in the old days, I'll say this because COVID has kind of changed everything.
Right. COVID has changed everything. Yeah.
But in the old days, and this was part of something I had to work on as far as is my relationship with God, and am I making this too much? Do you know what I mean? Like that's one thing I had to work on. But for me, it was if I quit or if I said I can't do it, then everybody is right. Everybody in my life who said this isn't something you should be doing or look down upon it. And so, as terrible as that is, that was a big motivation for me. Was I'll show you. Like it was like, you know what I mean? Like my brother, the first thing he said to me when I said, I think I'm gonna try to be a comedian. First thing he said was, and I know he loves me and I know he wants the best for me, but the first thing he said was, Leland, it's not like you're going to get your own show or anything. That's
Oh,
what he said, and I was just like, you just put
you
a
wait.
tank of fuel in my like. I'll show you. I'll get my own show. That's one of the first things I'm going to do. You know what I mean? And I'm going to do movies, and I'm going to do this for the rest of my life, and you're going to see. So for me, it was always like, uh, it was a challenge. I was never like, oh, maybe I'm not supposed to do this. I was always like, no, I think I'm supposed to do this. So uh, let's get at it. You know what I mean? Let me roll up these sleeves and go for it. I don't
You
know. That's
know,
that's kind of
I, I
this
know
year
I'm
has
like
broke
you.
me though. This year has really
It
broke
broke
me.
everybody. It broke everybody. I would think, I think our goal right now is to start forgetting about, the COVID year, where we have to think of, like, you know what, how can we get back to where we were and then move from
Mhm.
there? Because my I'm like you. Yesterday I had this accountability group with a pastor, and we're talking about how I am motivated by negativity. You tell me I can't do it. Oh, thank you so much. This is the best thing you can tell me,
Yeah, yeah.
to go there. But have you been? Have you ever been mad at God, saying, "Lord, I know." I'm capable of this. I should be doing this by now. I thought I'll be here, and why aren't you making this happen? Have you ever had this conversation with God?
Yeah, I mean, I had similar conversations. I was never mad. I've been upset with God and hurt, I guess.
Hmm.
There's some things in my life that happened that were pretty tough, and I remember just being really hurt. Like that stings, Lord. That stings. Not so much mad, but yeah, there are times where my wife and I were just talking about this the other day. Comparison and comparing is just a dangerous thing. Um, and that I think that's where it stems from. Which, if we're being honest, comparison is coveting, right? It's one of the 10 commandments that God laid out. It's simple. Even before Jesus came to fulfill the law, we had the law so I'm not supposed to compare. No, because this is what happens. These are the things that come from that, right? So that's definitely something I have to remind myself of. Because my wife said she used to do it to make herself feel better. Like she would do if she was really stressed out about something. This is maybe getting a little off topic now, but if she was stressed
No,
out
no,
about
it's
something,
not.
she would go, okay, so what's the worst case scenario? And then can I deal with the worst case scenario? Or look at this person, they're going through something way harder, so I need to be okay with it. So it's like she used comparison in the other way. Like, oh, this is so bad. Okay, where's somebody that's worse off? Right there. Okay, I'm not them. Whew. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which I don't know. I don't know how that fits in, or if that's healthy even. But
Eh,
I do know comparing myself to someone who's took off on social media, or who's doing way bigger shows and tours and things. Everything they touch seems to turn to gold. It's like that. God's got a ministry for them,
mm,
and God's got a ministry for me. And I'm still going to push and strive because that's how He built me. But I'm not gonna sit here and you know just point fingers. Look at that, Lord. Why am I not? You know what I mean? How about help me do this? That's more my with God. Like I'm doing this. What do you think? You want to get on
you
board?
know, that's amazing. I mean, you're speaking to a lot of comedians and a lot of us, and you're speaking because I was asking. I've always one of the hardest thing is not to compare. But then again, if you look at companies, I guarantee you that Coke looks at what Pepsi's doing and
Right,
they try to
right.
see where they're at or what they can do better. I mean, I think part of it is that it's like we look. Sometimes we see the unfairness in the comparison.
Mhm.
Like we put this much time, this effort, the
You're
act,
you're
the
saying
working
that
on
there's
this.
a good way to use comparison. There's
There is
a
a good way, but it's not always in our head. We're always look at the bad part of the
Yeah, exactly.
comparison. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
So
saying it exists. I'm
it
saying
does.
not in here.
No, it does, and I do, and I did it for a while, and looked at some comic that I was ahead of, and then became boom, just exploded, and it's like, why is that? What's going on? And then I
Yeah.
started to pray for that person. I'm like, Lord bless him.
Mm.
But then again, remember, bless me first. I'm the one talking to you right now.
Yeah.
So, but you got it. It does. But I think it makes you better, makes you work harder, makes you
Okay. Okay.
attempt trying. So there is that part of it that,
Mm.
yeah. But
Yeah, I can see that. As long as the comparison doesn't turn into coveting, then it can be healthy. The problem is, uh, it's where do you. It's such a
right.
fine line sometimes, and it's tough to play that game, right?
Right. I don't want to be him or them or her.
Right.
We're not talking gender here. I don't want to be them, but I want that success that I thought I would have it by now. And
Right.
then I know, like Alan, who's watching, Alan Goodwin said, it's God's timing. We believe in God's timing, but sometimes they're like, Lord, your timing should have been here 10 years ago.
Look how
But
gray I'm getting. I can't be a leading man when I'm this
yeah,
old.
no. So
I
what
should have
is
been doing
next?
these movies 10 years ago.
I know, but it's different. It's like now that you're gonna get that movie, you're gonna be. It's like it's fine. This is God's perfect timing for it. Just shave the
Spray on
beard.
some hair.
No, your hair is fine. It's just see, people always tell me like, do you dye your hair? I don't touch my hair, but it's like But yeah, when the white gets in, we'll start to shave it so it doesn't look.
Okay.
So yeah, if you shave the beard, you look fine. What
Okay.
is next for you? What I mean? What would you hope for in the next year for you? Of course, the visa. The,
I need that visa. I need that visa on Friday. That's what I'm looking forward to. If I don't have the visa on Friday, I lose a movie, and that's my month of June work gone. So then I have to replace it. I want to do more movies. I've got some scripts that I've been working on, and there's some stories I want to tell. I love, I actually on it was a stand up gig I was heading to. I was on I think it was a United flight, and it was the older planes where they had the
the
TV
propeller.
screens every
Oh,
3 rows or whatever. And so it was a movie I probably wouldn't normally watch, but I'm watching this movie and I get into it. It's a drama, you know, it moves me. And at the end of it, and it was a fully secular movie, and I just said to the Lord, I was like, I want to do that. I want to, I want to tell stories for you. Let
mm.
me do that. Let me have a shot at that. And I feel like He did that. I feel like He gave me that opportunity, right? So yeah, it's humbling and it's awesome, but I want to be able to do more.
You're right. Leland, thank you for being real. It's just sometimes after we finish complaining to God, I think we always end it with like, thank you that we're doing what we love to do
Yeah,
and we've been able to
yeah,
raise our kids and family for
absolutely.
that long. I've been doing comedy 32 years. I mean, I'm like, I've been taking care of financially of myself and my family. I've always like my parents first and then my wife and kids. I mean, stay home mom, private university and others, but taking care of them, going up on stage, doing exactly what I love to do. So at the end of the day, I go, Lord, I'm sorry, but I know the feeling. Well, like, there's more to it. There's more to what we can do. And when I compare myself, I think I should be covering where I want to be. That's, what I mean? Where you always, because, this is what someone told me this yesterday, and it really will be helpful to me and you. A pastor that's doing accountability, he said, Nazareth, I said, you know what? One of my fears, like one of my dreams is always doing these big stadiums. And God, like you did with the movies for you, he allowed me to do several stadiums
Yeah,
and arenas and fill them up and do that. But it's like my dream is to do them all the time. Like they're like book solid. I don't have to pick up the phone.
right.
People are calling, and some comics goes, "Oh, I can only take 120 dates a year." I'm like, "Shut up, come on." I'm pulling teeth for 120 days a year, but
Yeah,
I get the 120 days, and then they go, "Oh, Naz is busy. I wonder who's his agent is." I'm pulling my teeth to do it.
right.
But what he said, Nazar, I said, Pastor, is this my flesh, or is this the Lord's desire. God puts the desires in my heart. And he goes, Naz, when you get to the top of the mountain, do you want to proclaim Jesus? Do you want to lift his name up? I said, of course, no questions about it. He said, it's a God's desire for you.
Mm,
And man, that changes things when you know, Leland, God's desire for you is to do these movies because you want to proclaim, you want to
mm.
tell his story when you're there. So I hope that's encouraging. You left me, you encouraged me, man. We still have 10 minutes. I want to enjoy every minute of it, and we can go longer. But uh, so right now you said you're just working on getting the visa, getting the movie. But just when the show comes in and is canceled, Leland, that means there's more coming. That's what it
Yeah,
tells me. That someone
there's a
wants you
lot
to be
coming
an
then for
actor.
me. There's a ton coming then.
Yes, because somebody wanted you, even though that didn't happen. They like say, "Oh, we wanted Naz," and then they say, "Oh, it didn't work," or "I was busy that day," or "I couldn't make the flight," or "I couldn't." You know what? That they wanted you, and that feeling by itself kind of fuels us to know,
Yeah,
okay, there's more shows coming, there's more movies coming,
yeah,
because if this movie doesn't happen, there's more.
yeah. No,
So,
I know. I'm trying to be okay with it, whatever happens. Like when I'm praying for God to do a miracle, I had some people, because that's what I'm essentially doing right now. The paperwork got pushed so far behind, and I had to get a whole new letter of consultation that I didn't have to get before, and so it pushed everything back. And so then I realized, okay, so the only way that this gets done now is God doing a miracle. People were telling me, like, you have to visualize God doing that miracle, and you got to do that. And there's all these different this advice I was getting, and part of me was like, okay, but God may also say no, and that's okay. And that doesn't mean I need to be okay with that. Saying, okay, if God is like, no, I'm not doing that for you right now, there's a reason for that. It
mhm.
might be something that puts me, maybe it's like, well, I guess we're selling the house because I needed this month. That's okay too. That doesn't mean, I don't know. Like we sometimes, so many times we forget about this. So many times in the Bible, somebody will say that they will have prayed for something, and we're like, yeah, and see, they got answered. No, 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 no. It took 26 years.
Mhm.
He prayed for this for 20 some 2 decades of thinking God had said no. But we just like flip through it. Yeah, and he answered his prayer, right? Like we forget. Some people die. They talk about the hall of faith, right? When they're just telling all these people that some of those people died and didn't get an answer to prayer, but they still believed because they were like, I have a faithful God and I know he's going to answer this prayer. And they died being okay with that. We forget that. And that's what I'm just trying to remind myself of. If I don't get my way, that doesn't mean that God isn't answering. It doesn't mean God's not listening to my prayer and that he doesn't care. It means that the answer is something, because sometimes we think, oh, God didn't answer my prayer. No, he answered. He just said no, or he said wait. But
Right.
he didn't give you what you wanted. So maybe you need to, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to work on those things. I'm trying to figure that out right now.
That's amazing. And I want to encourage you, next time you feel down and you want to grow your beard again, listen to this podcast and listen to the last 10 minutes you said, because that's
Okay.
encouraging to me, to every comedian, every entertainer, everyone who desired more out of their career, out of their life, or even for marriage. I know there's some single people that praying, hey, Lord, when is the time? When is my prince or princess going to come? And what you just said is like, some people prayed for years for God to answer their prayers. And
Yeah.
that is powerful. That is powerful.
And
Uh,
also as a reminder, my sons are both single.
oh, how old? Let's see. What is the
So that's,
qualification?
if there's some ladies out there,
20.
there's,
How old is the oldest?
he's going to be 24 in a week or so.
Now, do you want him to get married so he can get his documents and come to the
We
States
need
and
green
work,
cards.
or
We need green
for green
cards
card?
now.
Why don't you become a Muslim, get a second wife or a third and fourth, and one of them will guarantee you'll be a. No, this is horrible.
I just
Horrible.
saw,
I'm
this is
sorry.
how bad it got. I just saw there's a news article that Biden was giving 100,000 Haitians amnesty, and I quickly went to the website Haitian citizenship, and I'm like, how hard is it to get? I
I've
will
been to
become
Haiti,
a
pretty
Haitian if
easy.
I have to, so I can get into this country.
I think for $100 you can. I've been to Haiti.
So
You
am
can be a
I.
Haitian.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. We were together, right?
new missions. Yeah,
Oh, we went to Haiti together.
we didn't go
Remember?
on the same trip though, did we? I don't
Did
think
we?
it was the same
Was
trip.
Thor Ramsey with us? Thor Ramsey? No,
Thor's with you, right?
I went after you, and then I remember this village we went to, and all the Haitians were talking about this giant Canadian, tall Canadian with big hands that took away their passports. He was
Right, right.
oh,
Listen,
that's awesome. That's awesome. I
call
remember,
it
yeah.
pathetic, but I thought I might need those.
This is awesome. You did an event or a tour called about marriage. Did you do that? What
I did.
is
Yeah, I've
was
done.
it?
Yeah, I've done marriage date night events and date nights for I forget. There's lots of
What kind of encouragement in closing? First to single people, second to married people. What do you give them?
Well, wow, you're not letting me off the hook. You just keep asking
No,
the
no,
questions.
I want to dig in.
For single people, don't forget to enjoy where you're at in life because you know, just like there's things in marriage that you probably want, there's also married people that are like, oh, there's single things that were pretty good too. So don't forget to enjoy where you're at because God's got you there right now for a reason. So enjoy that. And I guess for married couples, uh, you know, the Bible gives us a really clear, we're supposed to love our spouse like Christ loved the church. So that's just what I encourage you to do.
Mm.
And keep this in mind. You know what? Okay. Yeah, see, you're getting me preaching here. You get me
Go
preaching.
for it. Go ahead. No, I've never had a Canadian preacher.
The thing about the gospel that always just it just blows my mind is that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. So it's not Leland, get your act together. And when you get your act together enough, then I'll lay down my life for you, or then my son will die for you. But you have to show me some progress. It wasn't that. It was while my back was turned to God. My back was like, I want nothing to do with you. That's when he died.
Mm.
So if that's our example, just think about that. If you're a married couple, just think about that. While if your spouse is, maybe your spouse is walking away, maybe they're like, I want nothing to do with this. Can you still love them that way? Because that's what we're called to do. And I'm not trying to say that there's, that everything can be fixed or that there's not abusive situations or things like that. But what I am saying is, well, I'll put it this way too. The more time I spend with God, more time I spend in my relationship with Jesus Christ, the way better equipped I am to be a good husband and to be a good father. And so to me, that's the key to every relationship. Marriage first, your wife first. No, God first.
Amen.
And then that will prosper underneath that. That will flourish.
Amen. Well, I'll tell you what, as we're closing this, I want to just remind people, please pray for Leland's for a miracle that his documents will come in before Friday. And so God has 3 days to do this, two days actually. And I believe in the power of prayer, and I know you guys will. They're faithful. Those people who are on my show Live with Nas every night. We've been going on. Last night, it was show number 280. 280 hours with people every night, every weeknight. So, and they pray, and we've seen miracles happen. So I pray right now that God will do this. And if it's his will, it's not. He has so many other things for you. You're a good man. You love the Lord. You love your wife. You love your kids. You're so funny. I mean, I say that you are very funny. How can people get a hold of you to book you? And by the way, before I say that, if you have any power to do anything with immigration or Canadian Patrol or or getting visas, a Canadian visa. You never know. Someone works for the, from, someone in Canada that works for the, what do you call it, immigration?
Yeah.
Is that where you get? Yeah. Would you please pray and see if you can help my brother here? How can people get a hold of you to book you as a speaker, or they have a movie idea, they want to do a movie, or they want to book you as a comedian? What
Yeah,
the hell?
LelandClassen.com. That's one E in Leland. Don't you dare put two E's in that. .com. And you can find me on all the socials as well. Just, / Leland Klassen or Leland period Klassen. Some of them have a dot in the middle. I don't know how I did that, but so yeah, check me out on those.
Leland, Leland, Klassen, Klassen,
Yep.
dot com, and you can get on. Leland, stick around. I want to finish the live show, and I want to just follow up a little bit with you guys. Thank you
Oh,
so much for watching this show. Thank you for encouraging your friends to kind of download it and to subscribe to the Laughter for All podcast. If you miss anything, from all the podcasts we had, you can go to laughterforallpodcast.com, or you can go to my YouTube and watch all of them. So, love you guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you tonight at 8:30 p.m. Pacific time. And Leland, thank you so much. We appreciate you, brother.